Hi, my name's Dr. Abby Schlesinger. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist at Children's Community Pediatrics, Behavioral Health. And we're here today with our teen ambassadors.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
I'm Katie.
I'm Avery.
I'm Zion.
And I'm Sydney.
What sort of stressors do you all see these days in high school and junior high?
Too much work.
Yeah.
Schoolwork, friends,
Standardized
families.
tests.
Oh yeah.
Relationships.
Not even just like adults in school systems, even your peers, they put such a pressure on you to find what you want to do early. And for those of us who have found out what we like early and we're going on that path, it's not as hard, but I do know people who have no idea what they want to do, and teachers are like, oh, you have to choose something now, or you're not going to know when you get into college. And sometimes peers, they can start being like, oh, I know what I want to be. And then it's all like, everyone's like knowing what they want to be already, and then you're the only one who, you feel like the only one who doesn't know what you want to do.
Yeah, like everyone's in their place and found their way. You're just kind of like,
Yeah,
still,
you're just like floating.
still in the maze lost.
Which we know is not true, right? There are a lot of adults that haven't found their place.
Oh, yeah.
But I've heard a lot of that recently. There's this feeling that you should already sort of know who you're going to be and get the perfect grades and have the perfect job and the perfect extracurricular activities.
And even going to college, it's such a, you just have to go to college. There's not even a point where you can be like, is college even the right option for me? It's mostly, you just have to go to college. That's what they're saying is like, find the right college, find a good college. Like, even, they're saying that like community colleges, they're starting to unstigmatize community colleges. That's such a stressor, is whenever you get pushed into a place of like, you need to do this and this, or you're not going to be successful.
But a lot of times people don't want to talk to their parents because they're scared the parents will go, but I've given you such a good life, why aren't you happy? And I think you have to reassure them that it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be depressed. Not everything in your life is going well, and that's okay.
It's a great point. I see families all the time where kids or the parents are worried that they caused their problem somehow, or they did
But it
something
isn't.
wrong.
It isn't.
We can all do things to make life better, and we can all do things to make life poor, right?
Yeah.
But depression and anxiety just happens for
Yeah.
some people, and it's not anybody's fault.
And it's not like, I feel like when you have anxiety or depression, you have to make yourself happier. You can't you can't just say, you can make me happier.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just say, oh, this is your fault to your parents because you're not happy. I feel like you have to make your own actions and try to get yourself better. You can't just blame it on
And
everybody
you
else.
can't just think, oh, my life is going perfect, I shouldn't be depressed, because you can still be depressed when everything you have is going well. It still happens. So
It's totally okay to feel that way too. I mean, we all go through it at some point in our life, and it's not a weakness, it's definitely something that...
And I mean, as a physician, I see depression and anxiety disorders as a medical illness that we have interventions for, we have therapy for, we have things you can do, we have medicine if you need it. Do you all feel comfortable talking to your friends about depression and anxiety?
yeah.
It definitely depends on the friend.
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
close to them, then yes, but if they're kind of like separated from you and are closing you off, then it's definitely maybe to have one of their closer friends talk to them.
Yeah, just make sure it's somebody you trust.
Not only does it depend on the type of person, but it also depends on time and place of when you're trying to talk to this person.
So it sounds like people talk to you about depression and anxiety. Is that
I get
reasonable
that a
to
lot.
say?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they I get a lot of people trying to talk to me because I have more of like an empath feeling. It happens a lot, and sometimes I have to say like I can't do this all of the time, and then I sort of feel bad. But I think I need to. It's a two-way street. You can't keep taking on all these other emotions, and then you need to focus on your own sometimes.
Being a teen is having lots of emotions, right? And figuring out how to manage them. And sometimes you got to step back and say, hey, this is my time to manage my emotions. Have there been times that you've had to say to people, you know, I think you should get more help?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you make that decision?
Whenever someone is coming to you for everything, and you know that they have other resources, and it's just a moment where they're not using those resources.
So when someone's not getting all the help they need, do you think there's more out there they can get?
Yeah.
Any other signs that you've noticed that an adolescent or a friend of yours should get more help?
Loss of interest in like things that normally make them happy.
Not being happy and not enjoying things that they
And
usually
eating
enjoy.
habits especially.
Those are actually signs of depression, right? Not enjoying things, sadness, not eating, just being irritable is a sign of depression. And actually, for me as a psychiatrist, I often ask, do your friends notice you're irritated, right? Because friends will be the first ones to notice really something has changed.
Yeah.
How do you make the decision to say, like, we need to get a parent involved?
If it becomes a scary situation,
Yeah.
What-
When it's something you can't handle. And sometimes people think they can handle more than they actually can, but if you have any doubts that it's something that it's going to be too much for you, always there you can call like a resolve number. Those are really helpful. And if you're dealing with someone else, and you can call like even the police if it's a moment of life or death. And if you have their parents' phone number, always call their parents and make sure that they're getting the help that they need.
Yeah. You know, don't just keep everything to yourself, you know. Fill their parents in so that they're aware of, you know, what's going on. It might seem, you know, to them, they might be like, oh, don't snitch on me or don't tattletale on me, you know.
Yeah, that's a complicated decision,
Exactly.
right?
But in reality, you have their best interest at heart. So I think it's important that you also, you know, just keep their parents involved and just aware of.
So
what's
I would
going
assume you don't share everything
Correct.
that your
Yeah.
friends tell, probably not.
Yeah.
You can't
Even
be
a small
afraid.
percentage of it, right?
Yeah.
But have you had situations where you've been worried someone might think you'd snitch and
I've had
Yeah.
people be mad at me before and then like spread rumors about me because of it. But I was like, I was just looking out for you and I didn't want you to get hurt.
The thought that goes through my mind is, oh man, if I snitch and they find out, is it going to make them? Is it going to drive them to do what they are feeling, or, you know, drive them to make a decision that they shouldn't make? That worries me. Is like, man, if I try to get them help, but they didn't like that I tried to get them help, then they might feel even worse about themselves, and then it's just like blown up and, you know, bigger than it
So
should
let me
be.
allay your fears. Having worked with lots of teens and actually parents too, that getting a concerned adult around, preferably a parent, getting them involved is going to help
Yep.
and is not going to drive kids in the wrong direction. Most often, if kids need help, adolescents need help, adults need help sometimes too, right? But hopefully your parents have more life experience than you all do and can bring things to the table that maybe you can't. You know, I've worked with a number of people actually whose friends have told someone they were worried about them, and it was the best thing that ever happened to them. Even if at the moment they were like, why'd you tell? But ultimately it helped them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I had it the other way around, where one of my friends snitched on me, and they tried to keep it like a secret. They didn't want me to find out, but I knew. And I was like, why are you scared? You were just looking out for me.
right, so I guess snitch isn't the right word, huh?
Just gonna say snitching is, it's kind of like it's associated with bad things, and getting help for not being mentally okay is not a bad thing. And so when you use like stuff that sounds so stigmatized and saying, oh, she snitched on me because I was doing this and this, it's going to be like a feeling of everyone's going to judge you, not that other person.
Isn't it amazing how quickly we go to those stigmatized words when we're talking about
yeah.
things like depression and anxiety? It sounds like you're already doing a great job of encouraging your friends to get help when they need it. Well, I think this has been a great conversation. Thanks, everybody.